Well, good evening and welcome to the Chicago School. My name is Krista Holton, and I'm one of the Senior Directors of Admissions for the College of Professional Psychology. It is truly a pleasure to have so many of you here tonight, especially in today's world where mental health is at the forefront of so many conversations. So your interest in pursuing a degree in the mental health field is both timely and incredibly inspiring. This work is not just a profession, it's a calling. It's a call to action to create meaningful and positive changes in the lives of individuals, families, and communities. And at the Chicago School, we are here to support you every step of the way as you answer that call. So before we begin, just a couple of quick housekeeping tips. We would love to see as many faces as possible. So if you're comfortable, please feel free to leave your video on. However, if our internet connection gets unstable, I may ask everyone to turn them off. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, but most of them truly will be answered in the breakout session. So we'll have people monitoring the chat if you have something that you're dying to ask or whatever, but please save those for the department chairs because they really will be answered later on in the session. So let's get started. Tonight, we're excited to give you an in-depth look at the Chicago School, who we are, what we stand for, and how we live our mission each day through the collective passion of our faculty, our staff, and our students. You'll also learn about the range of programs that we offer so you can find one that aligns with your personal and professional goals. Here's a quick overview of the programs we'll be highlighting this evening. So to kick things off, you will hear from our dean, Dr. Lance Garrison, who will share some insights into our school and its vision. And then following Dr. Garrison, you'll hear from a couple of current students who will talk about their experience at the Chicago School. And then our department chairs will provide an overview of their programs. And we will conclude with what we refer to as the expectations of a Chicago School student. And with that, I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Lance Garrison.
Thank you so much, Krista. I am absolutely thrilled to have you all here with us this evening. I'd like to just take a few moments to share a little bit about our mission and our vision, our accreditation and institutional values, and kind of close up highlighting why we believe the Chicago School really is the ideal choice for pursuing your educational goals in psychology. So at the Chicago School, our mission is really centered on training you to become a competent, compassionate practitioner in your field. We understand, I think in a very meaningful sense, that real world training has to go beyond the classroom. And that's why a big part of what we do is offer rich opportunities for professional practice, for community engagement, and important volunteer work. Because we're not just preparing you for a career. What I think we're doing is helping you, after you leave us, make a positive impact in the communities that we serve. And that starts really with tonight and getting to know us and our programs and our fantastic faculty. So what is it that sets us apart from other institutions? I think it's our educational philosophy, our training model, and the holistic student experience that we provide. Since our inception, the Chicago School has been guided by 4 core values: education, innovation, community, and impact. And we'll talk more about those here in a little bit. But these values form the pillars of what we call the Chicago School Way. They guide everything we do, and they ensure that every student leaves ready to contribute meaningfully to society. For the past 45 years, we've stayed true to our mission of bridging the gap between theory and practice. And what began in 1979 as a single PsyD clinical psychology program has grown into a wide range of offerings, from clinical psychology to forensic psychology, school psychology, counseling and applied clinical psychology, and clinical psychopharmacology. Our goal really has always been the same, and that's to train students to be practice ready from the moment they graduate, equipped with the academic and clinical foundation to make a positive impact. So I'll touch on accreditation just very briefly here. The Chicago School has been accredited by the Western Association of Schools and Colleges Senior College and University Commission since 2011. We shortened that big, long string of words for describing our accreditor to WASC. And what that does is it ensures that we meet the highest standards of academic quality and integrity. So, along with education and innovation, we're deeply committed to creating positive change in the communities that we serve. And we can move to the next slide. Our students and our faculty they dedicate thousands of hours each year to providing services through their academic programs. And those hours of dedicated service directly impact individuals, families, and organizations in need. So now I want to just touch again really quickly on those pillars of education, innovation, community, and impact. Through education, we prepare the next generation of integrated health professionals. Through innovation, we embrace cutting-edge approaches to learning and to clinical practice. Through community, we foster connection, inclusion, and a sense of belonging. And finally, through impact, we contribute to a lasting and meaningful change in society. Our aim across all of our programs is to cultivate culturally competent practitioners who are passionate about serving others and promoting wellness. So, why choose us? Why the Chicago School? Let me share, I'll try to be brief about it, but share a personal story of my why with you for the Chicago School. So when I was back in grad school a few years ago, actually many, many years ago, I did my internship in Chicago, my pre-doctoral internship in Chicago. And part of my responsibility as an intern was to work with practicum students. And I worked with a number of practicum students who were pursuing their doctoral degree at the Chicago School. And I came from a very traditional PhD clinical health psychology program and had very little experience with PsyD programs at that time. So I didn't really understand what they were doing, how they were doing it, and what kind of outcomes their students were experiencing. But as I worked with those students as an intern and was responsible for providing some level of supervision to them, what I found out very, very quickly was that the quality of their training was really outstanding. It was so good, in fact, that I felt myself having to put in extra time to make sure that I could provide good consultation and supervision to those students. And I was just really super impressed, frankly, blown away by the quality of the students coming out of that PsyD clinical psychology program. And I told myself at that time, if I ever had an opportunity to work for the Chicago School, I would jump on it. Well, many, many years went by. Of course, I hadn't worked for the Chicago School, but in 2017, an opportunity presented itself, and it took me all the way back to that experience when I was an intern in Chicago and reminded me what I had promised myself. And so I've been with the Chicago School since 2017 and now have the very good fortune of serving as the Dean for the College of Professional Psychology and getting to talk to you tonight. As a professional school, I think we have a unique advantage. Our faculty are active practitioners in the field. And this means that in addition to teaching, they stay connected to the latest developments in research, clinical work, and community engagement. And then they bring that real-world experience back into the classroom for you, enriching your education with the latest innovations and best practices. Honestly, I couldn't be prouder of our university, of our students, and our alumni, because they're all out there in the field making meaningful contributions, not just in the United States, but honestly across the world. Our faculty and our staff are here because we believe in our mission, in our values, and actually just most importantly, we believe in you, our students. And in these times of kind of unprecedented global challenges, we're seeing an ever-growing demand for mental and behavioral healthcare services. As you probably know, the wait list for clinicians are often months long now, which I think really highlights a critical need for more qualified professionals. And that need is why many of you are considering a career in this field. and why we are so passionate about the work we do at the Chicago School. So thank you so much again for joining us and for taking this really important step in investing in yourself and your future. I look forward to seeing you in class soon. And with that, so you heard my why. You heard a little bit about my background with the Chicago School. You might think, well, you're biased. Well, maybe so, but I'm biased in a very positive way. The Chicago School is a great place, and I'm happy to be the dean here. But I think it might be more powerful for you to hear from one of our current students. So I'll hand the presentation over right now to Angie Zara, who I believe is one of our forensic psychology students. So Angie, take it away.
Yep, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Angie. I'm currently a second-year student in the forensic psychology program, so graduating pretty soon here. And yeah, I've been fortunate to get involved in a couple other ways on campus in recent semesters. So newly a teaching assistant for one of our courses. I'm involved with a student organization in our program called Forensic Ambassadors. A member of APLS, which is not school specific, but I encourage anyone to get involved if you're not. And I'm currently about halfway through my internship. So I'm at a residential substance use facility, which is Gateway. And yeah, I've really felt fortunate with the experience I've had. So hopefully some of the things I share can feel helpful and maybe some advice as well. But I think one thing I really have appreciated about the Chicago School was right from the beginning, entering grad school can feel like super intimidating and a bit overwhelming. But I felt like they were always extremely communicative. I felt like people kind of from every angle, every department were reaching out and making sure we were supported. And I think wanting you to succeed. Another way that I see that, it's kind of echoing actually what Dr. Garrison said, is like not just the emphasis on achievement, with grades, which I know it feels good to get good grades and it's important, but with like making sure you're prepared. And I know I really felt that internship can be intimidating, but I actually felt so equipped and prepared. And I think that the emphasis is really on like learning and remembering and applying these things. And another big part of my experience is, or has been, creating relationships with faculty. I know it's something you probably hear, but truly, not only also what Dr. Garrison said about their experience and what you can learn from them, but just having that extra form of support, like inevitably when life happens. Like I've had some minor obstacles that it was like inexplicably helpful to have professors to be able to go to and like seek advice from, and just really have like that open line of communication. And I'd say similar with peer relationships, the cohorts aren't huge. And so getting to know the people that you spend time with day in and day out, it's helpful, like not even just to get class notes if you miss something or to ask questions, but it's hard. School's hard, obviously. It's busy, and to be able to kind of have that shared experience and get to know the people that you're going on this path with. I actually met one of my best friends at orientation. So before I even stepped foot in a class, I was able to make those connections. So what I will say with that is they don't just always happen organically. Part of it is kind of like what people say, you get out what you put in. And so I encourage anyone to seek out those relationships. And I think just really like take things seriously, and enjoy it, of course. But, like I said, they're preparing you for being face to face with someone who you're meeting them in their most vulnerable moments, really. And so milking everything you can from the experience, and learning from the faculty that we have. And also finding what works for you with balance, with time management. I've found it's been also extremely helpful to make sure you're putting yourself first and taking care of yourself in the midst of work, school, life. So yeah, just finding your pattern, finding people that you can go to if you need. And yeah, I feel very blessed. It's been a great experience. So I think I'll keep it short in the nature of time. And I would think we have another current student who's gonna share about her experiences as well. So I'll give it to you, Heather.
Thanks, Angie. So hi, everyone. I am a student who is in my final year, so I'm also about to graduate. So I would like to echo what both Dr. Garrison and Angie said. The faculty is amazing here. It's one of the reasons why I picked the Chicago School. They are all practitioners, and so they know what to prepare you for, and they know what to like discuss in class so that you can use it in real world situations. And I'm currently on internship at Cimarron Halstead, and I don't think that I would be as like prepared for my internship without the classes and the faculty at the Chicago School. So I really want to emphasize that like without them, it wouldn't have been possible for me to be at this point because I worked full time during school. So one of the reasons I chose the Chicago School was so that I could work and go to classes. And Dr. Keeshan, who I believe you will meet later, was really helpful in a lot of my decisions throughout my time here at the Chicago School. So it's a really great place to help you on your training, but also they provide one of the best Office of Placement and Training that I have encountered. And they are step by step with you. There are meetings that we attend where they go over your CV for internship. And a lot of the reason why I chose the Chicago School was because of the Office of Placement Training and the licensure preparation, because I'm coming out of a master's program and I will be licensed, right? So I'll have that preparation to take those tests and to have already had that internship experience in order to go out into the world and be able to practice just coming out of school. And I think that was really unique. And it's been such an amazing experience. And Dr. Garrison said he didn't want to be biased, but I am actually very biased towards the Chicago School. So I'll keep it short. Just like Angie, it's a great school, and I'm really proud that I go here. And I will go ahead and pass it over to Wendy Osborne, who is the Senior Director of Admissions.
Thank you, Heather. So tonight, as you heard throughout the evening, the Chicago School's mission is to develop culturally competent practitioners who are not only passionate about serving individuals, but about fostering well-being in our communities. Across all of our programs, you'll find an environment that encourages curiosity, supports personal growth, and equips you with the critical skills you'll need to succeed in the field. Through our research projects, clinical placements, internships, you'll have opportunities to apply what you've learned in real world settings, turning theory into practice and making tangible difference in the lives that you serve. So now it is my pleasure to review our program overviews with our faculty. So I will introduce our first department chair, Dr. Maureen Keeshan, who will lead the panel of department chairs as we dive deeper into each of our programs.
Thank you so much, Wendy. So, hi, everyone. This is one of my favorite events, just being able to welcome kind of like-minded folks who are interested and passionate in the field and the discipline of psychology and behavioral health. So I always just am really honored to be in your presence as somebody looking into this profession. I also wanted to give a shout out to our student, Heather, who just spoke. Heather, one of our wonderful counseling psychology students. We're so proud of you, and you're at the finish line. So just wanted to mention that. Like I said, I'm the department chair of our master's in counseling psychology. Rather than read the paragraph here, which you can all do, I was just going to give some highlights about our wonderful program. So when you think about counseling psychology, I really want you to be thinking about psychology as the scientific framework or the underpinning, incorporating evidence-based practice that is grounded in science. That is a huge part of our values and our mission to make sure all we do are guided by science. And what overlays that or partners with psychology as our science is the art of counseling. So in this particular program, you really get kind of that beautiful partnership of the science and the art working in tandem, side by side, to connect with individuals, families, communities, and really in a way that creates a healing space. So like Heather mentioned earlier, this is a program where once you finish, you are license eligible after completing the licensure exam. This program meets the requirements to be licensed as a professional counselor in the state of Illinois. And also we have that eligibility in many other states, not just Illinois. So this is, again, Dr. Garrison started this way, and I'll continue the thread of you're ready to hit the ground running, not only after you finish, but really the preparation to start your clinical internship, which takes place in your final year of the program. We find that from feedback from our wonderful internship sites that Chicago School students from counseling psychology are above and beyond in terms of readiness and preparation to some of the other students that are also interning, right, for representing other universities in the area. So I always like to just put a shout out to kind of as a testament to the training and the education of our wonderful faculty and staff. You'll hear from Dr. Adames later, one of our core counseling psychology faculty. And in fact, he also has the skill of videographer, we've just learned. And so if you join the breakout session with counseling psychology, I'll be premiering our new department video that Dr. Adames put together. And it is beautiful and really captures the essence of who we are and what we do. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And I will turn it over to Dr. Anna Belmonte, the chair, actually the division chair of forensic psychology located here in Chicago.
Thanks, Dr. Keeshan. Always a hard act to follow, but I will try to draw you all over to forensic psychology just as much as she pumped up counseling psychology. As Dr. Keeshan said, my name is Dr. Belmonte. I am the division chair for our forensic psychology division. I personally am based in Chicago, but our forensic psychology programs are located at 5 of our campus locations. And so in our breakout session coming up next, I will review the 3 programs that we have. We have a Master's of Forensic Psychology program that has both a licensure and non-licensure track. We also have a PsyD and clinical forensic psychology program. Our programs are meant for individuals who are interested in melding and learning how to apply the psychology practice, the science that Dr. Keeshan was talking about, to the legal system and the field, the legal field. So if you are interested in working with individuals who are involved in the criminal justice system, civil justice system, so families, kids, people who are going through guardianship cases, individuals who are in probation or parole settings in the community, individuals in correctional settings, law enforcement officers or other kinds of public safety officers, victims of crime, anybody who has essentially touched or been a part of the legal system, including the system itself. We train our students to do that work in a way that understands the marginalization that these individuals already experience in the system, and they're vulnerable from that already. So please come and hear some more information. And I also want to thank our student Angie, who is here tonight, to give a great shout out, and she'll be joining us if you guys have questions from a student perspective as well. So I will turn it over to Dr. Rodriguez Menendez. Sorry, I had to remember who was next.
Hi there, everybody, and welcome to our open night this evening. I'd like to mention that in psychopharmacology, we're really bridging 2 worlds, because one world has to do with behavioral science. The second world has to do with the natural sciences. So we're creating that intersection to meet the patient need for access to pharmacotherapy. Now, there's a lot of things that have been happening lately within the field of clinical psychopharmacology. I'll just mention that since the beginning of this year, we now have about 4 or 5 new bills that have been submitted for passage of prescriptive authority for psychologists. Our program is here to help students so that they can become licensed prescribing psychologists. And I want to mention, we have everything that you need from the pre-doctoral level through the postdoctoral level to become a licensed clinical prescribing psychologist. We build our program around quality, number one, and we'll talk about our faculty quality, but for faculty licensed at the doctoral level, over 70% of our faculty are board certified. Another thing that we'll talk about is mentorship. And we believe that, you know, there's an old Spanish saying that you don't get baptized unless you have a grandfather. And so then you have to learn how to network professionally. And I also love what Heather had to say about our Office of Placement and Training, because Dr. Dina Glaser, who is the director of that office, is also our director of clinical training. So again, we've got everything that you need, including a certification program for your clinical rotations, and then on top of that, a PEP review course. So this is the fourth revolution in psychology, and I encourage all of you to consider studying psychopharmacology, and I look forward to meeting you in our session. And unfortunately, I do not, oh, it's Dr. John Stitsky. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez-Menendez. Good evening, I'm Dr. John Shestiski, Division Chair for Applied Clinical Psychology. So good to have so many people with us here tonight. I'm here to tell you about a unique program within the Chicago School. The Applied Clinical Psychology Doctoral Program is an accelerated 3-year post-master's PsyD that prepares graduates for eligibility for licensure as a clinical psychologist in California. Some of our students have become licensed in other states, but we've designed our program specifically to meet the expectations of the California Board of Psychology. All of our students come to us with a master's degree in a mental health field. We provide them with 2 years of coursework, a full year of practicum, a full year of internship. Along the way, you write a dissertation, and then you will be eligible to obtain your PsyD degree. We offer 2 different ways to earn our degree. Both adhere to the same curriculum, but we have a blended model of instruction that provides weekend courses throughout each semester, with those weekends being interspersed with a substantial amount of blended activity you do at the time of your choice in between those classes. So most of our students work, and most of them work full-time. This is a full-time doctoral program, so folks need to be prepared for the time commitment that this will require. But we do everything we can to make our program convenient. We do not make it easier. We try to make it more convenient. One of the ways we make it more convenient for some is that thanks to a grant from the state of California, we're now able to offer a fully remote version of this program that provides the live instruction by Zoom with the same expectations for blended activity. But this program requires 4 weekend residencies over the 2 years of coursework. Again, designed to prepare folks for licensure here in California. So I look forward to telling you much more about the program if you join us for the breakout session today or our chat with the chair opportunity next Wednesday, February 5th. But I guess I'll just close by saying we're a unique program that may meet the needs of some who are preparing for a career in California. However, we're not for everyone. And I encourage you to consider the entirety of your career, and you'll be hearing from our wonderful EPA accredited more traditional PsyD programs shortly. So again, thank you for coming tonight. Look forward to spending time with you later. It's now my privilege to introduce my colleague, Dr. Brenda Huber.
Thank you, Dr. Shishitsky. It's my pleasure tonight to talk to you about school psychology. So if you are interested in working with children, particularly children whose educational attainment and whose social emotional well-being you would like to support, then school psychology might be the discipline for you. So here at the Chicago School, we have one of the largest faculties, if not the largest faculty in school psychology in the country. And we have 2 programs. So there's what's called an EDS, or a specialist degree in school psychology, which is similar to a master's degree plus a full year of internship. And we also have a PsyD program. One of the things that is unique about school psychology is that while it does focus on serving the needs of children, it also heavily focuses on working with adults who care about those children, whether it be parents or teachers, the systems in which children learn and grow. And the field of school psychology is what I would call a systems discipline, meaning rather than focusing on individual students exclusively, the discipline is really about supporting those entire systems so that they can be sort of the tide that raises all boats. And so there's a lot of prevention and early intervention work in the field of school psychology. One of the things that excites me about the school psychology program here at the Chicago School is that we've been really working to make the program as accessible as possible. So first-year students can enter the program in what's called a blended program, which involves study on Saturdays and asynchronously during the week. And it allows students to work part-time or full-time during their first 2 years of their program. We are always looking for ways to support students, non-traditional students, students who are first-generation students, students who bring a wide diversity of backgrounds and experiences to the program. Our cohorts are just a wonderful thing to be part of because of the diversity of experience that is in the room. There's within the EDS program and the PsyD program, as I mentioned, students have the option of starting in a blended program, meaning that their classes are spread out a little bit long over 2 years instead of 1 year, their first year, and they also have the opportunity to study on Saturdays. Another unique thing about the programs at the Chicago School is that within our PsyD program, we have an opportunity for people who already have their specialist degree to come and enter our PsyD program at a post-specialist entry point, which means that unlike if they were to go to somewhere else for their doctorate, they might have to repeat a lot of courses and things like that. They can kind of like merge in with our doc program and not lose any time, basically. Both of the programs are accredited. So the EDS program is accredited by the National Association of School Psychologists. And what this does is allow our students to be eligible for a national credential in school psychology. That certification can make you very portable so that you can go to many, many states and practice as a school psychologist. Our doctoral program is accredited by APA. So a lot of people don't realize that graduating from a school psychology doctoral program, a clinical psychology doctoral program, a counseling psychology doctoral program, that in most cases, the actual license that you sit for in the state is the same license for all 3. And so the PsyD program in school psychology meets all those criteria to make you, once again, very portable so that you can get licensed in many, many states. So I think that's everything that I wanted to tell you about school psychology. Please come to our breakout. And if not, we are having a chat with the chair next Thursday, February the 6th at noon Central Time. So I look forward to meeting you there. And next up is Dr. Wendy Schiff in the clinical psychology program.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I am Wendy Schiff. I'm the chair of the Clinical Psychology PsyD program in Washington, D.C. And I'm going to speak to you a little bit about the Clinical Psychology PsyD programs. We are sort of the flagship of the Chicago School, as Dr. Garrison mentioned. That's what sort of started it all off. We currently have 5 PsyD programs, either fully accredited from APA, or Dallas is in the process of getting its initial accreditation. We are the traditional APA PsyD clinical psychology model type program. So it is a 5-year program. Each of these campuses, we follow the guidelines from APA to be accredited in clinical psychology. They're 5 years, including a 1-year internship in your 5th year, which is full-time. The program is designed, these programs are designed to be full-time programs. We're not degree completion. All our students start out as first-year students, whether they're coming in with a master's degree or not. They have to do essentially the entire program. So it's a full-time 5-year commitment. Obviously, this is a longer commitment and a full-time commitment that's a little different than some of the other programs you've heard about. But the reason students come to us is because of the training you get, the breadth and depth of clinical training, the versatility of your degree, and all the opportunities that are open to clinical psychologists who are able to be licensed psychologists. As APA accredited programs and students doing full-time internships as their 5th year, you graduate and are eligible for licensure in all 50 states. So this is sort of a really important thing to keep in mind. And really just the amount of training, and both academically in the classroom and at clinical training sites, you're really getting the most possible training and experience with the PsyD degree. But again, it is a big long-term commitment. What you are trained to do is both diagnosis, assessment, and intervention or psychotherapy. Our graduates can go on to work with children and adults, couples, families. Clinical psychologists work in just about every clinical setting out there, whether that's hospitals, private practice, forensic settings, court systems, working in schools, teaching and training others, supervising others. So there's really sort of an endless possibility of opportunities with the degree in clinical psychology. In addition, our students are trained, as I said, in assessment, which is extensive psychological testing and diagnosis of mental illness, both mild to more severe psychopathology. Also, our graduates from these programs are trained in different modalities of intervention, and everything we do is evidence-based, based on the research, and also guided by our understanding of theory and to conceptualize our cases. So there's many different routes to getting out there, to working and serving your community, serving patients and clients. You've heard about so many wonderful opportunities from different programs. The reason I think students come and choose the PsyD model is because of the sort of extensive, in-depth training that you get from a doctoral model like this. So I look forward to welcoming folks who might be interested in the DC program to our breakout session. I know my colleagues are here from Anaheim, Chicago, Dallas, and LA, and we're all having chats with the chair. So we look forward to meeting with you very soon. And now I'm going to throw it over to Dr. Hector Adames.
Thank you so much, Dr. Schiff. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Adames. I use he, him pronouns, and it's really an honor to be in community with you all this evening. Similar to Dr. Keisha, this is one of my favorite events, and it's my favorite event because I get to see the faces of the next generation of professional and hopefully the next incoming class for our College of Professional Psychology. Personally, I'm in the counseling psychology department in Chicago, but I want to talk about some commitments that we all have as a community, regardless of our campus and regardless of our program. And these are what we call expectation of the Chicago school student. So I'm going to briefly outline these 5 expectations that we all have, like I said, for everyone, for all of our students. And we share this during these admission events because it's going to give you a little glimpse into a learning community. And what I like to say, the compass that guides all of our work and all of our programs. So let's go. The first one is professional comportment, which is really just a fancy way of describing how we behave, how we act, and how we navigate all the different spaces that we swim in. Here at the Chicago School, we expect all students to carry themselves in ways that will increase the trust of the public. And as they're doing that, remembering that you all are ambassadors of our different respective profession. The second expectation centers on integrity. And integrity is all about ethics. It's doing the right thing academically and professionally and in our interactions with each other. Ultimately, integrity is about helping without hurting, or what our ethics says, doing no harm. And always, always, always keeping the best interests and needs in mind of those people and communities that we serve. The third expectation is personal responsibility. And this tenet highlights the importance of taking your graduate education seriously and giving it all your best, and we will be there to support you as you're giving it all your best. The fourth expectation is about being open, or what we call openness. And I remember a few years ago when I was in graduate school, right? Graduate school is a great time to make new connection. It's also a time to expand and revisit your thinking and your worldview and how you make sense of the world and yourself and others. This experience of graduate school, especially here at the Chicago School, will gently push you to reflect on all the layers that make you who you are. We expect all of our students to embrace change and to be open to feedback. In turn, we do this because this will only make you not only a better person, but a better professional, and equally important, a better presence in the lives of the people that you serve. And lastly, our last expectation, our fifth expectation, is about community. So here we truly believe that we are nothing if we are alone, and we are absolutely everything when we are together. And we're really serious about this being together, right? So here at the Chicago School, the spirit of community is truly unique, and we live and we breathe it in everything that we do. Being completely transparent, this community is what has kept me here now for a decade. So as a community, we represent our program, you will represent our program, and most important, we will represent each other. Again, thank you for inviting me to talk a little bit about our expectations, and I look forward to welcoming the next generation of professionals into our Chicago School community.